I have to speak to, as a teacher of 24 years, this being my last year, I'm retiring. I'm done. And I'm done because of one word: parents. And I am going to speak for teachers who can't speak because they're still in the profession. Education has changed so much that it is unbearable. And that's why there's a teacher shortage. I have seen education change in 24 years, and it hasn't changed for the better. And a lot of it has to do with parenting or lack thereof. Parents, when you send your child to school, they need pens, they need pencils. If they don't have them, please ask me or ask the school. Parents, when you send your children to school, yes, they do need their books. Yes, they do need a notebook. If they do not have any of those things, please ask your teacher, or please ask the school.
I was not expecting this. Like, when she started saying all of this, I was expecting for her to criticize parents neglecting their children, as in their physical health, and of course, they're not studying. They're just on the tablet. They're not out with their kids, socializing. And a lot of them are becoming very arrogant, very ignorant. They ignore, they talk over teachers, which I did to a certain extent, especially in high school. But in the end of the day, not having pens and notebooks is freaking insane. I did not expect that. I'm sorry, but having the pens and notebooks is the number one just basic rule what you have to bring to freaking school. Okay?
English teacher going viral after posting a raw and unfiltered farewell video as she leaves the classroom behind after just 3 years. Listen.
Okay.
A lot of these kids don't know how to read because they have had things read to them, or they can click a button and have something read out loud to them. I just don't think these kids even care. They don't.
Most adults can't even read these days. English is my second language. I've got no problem reading, communicating, and all of this. I watch a lot of American content creators and musicians and movies, right? A lot of those people, when I watch them, their spelling is worse than mine.
They don't care about making a difference in the world. They don't care about how to have a resume. They don't care how to write a resume. They don't care how to write a cover letter because ChatGPT will just do it for them. And I think
we never cared. Let's be honest. I'm 24 right now. When I was a kid, I still did not care. I was forced to do it, and that's a good thing, okay? You gotta teach the kid to do stuff he or she doesn't want to do, but because that's gonna be their whole freaking life, okay? In life, you can't just choose to do whatever the hell you want to do.
that we need to cut off technology from these kids, probably until they go to college.
Hannah is a former teacher, and she joins us now. She posted that video. More than 1 million people have seen it, Hannah, probably more by the time we're on this morning. Why did you post that video?
So I taught for 3 years, as I said in my video. I wasn't always a teacher. I actually started my career in digital marketing. So I've been in the digital world for
Why would you move back
now, or since I've graduated. And throughout the 3 years, I've taught digital arts classes and I've taught an English class. And I would say that in all of my teaching experience, technology has posed quite a challenge.
Yep.
And with AI becoming so accessible to children nowadays, especially teaching in an English or Core 4 classroom, it's been especially challenging kind of to have the kids comprehend and critical think and
think, of course,
on certain things. Yeah. So on my way out, I wanted to kind of raise awareness and just let people know how AI and technology is affecting their children these days.
Right. I know, coming from a mother who taught for 33 years, my sister's a teacher in South Carolina, the challenges that y'all deal with. This is even before AI was a thing. Yep. I'm sure it's even more challenging now. And clearly, your opinion is, yes, it is. You're a high school teacher. I'm sure your students loved you. We hate to see someone leave education because of problems within the classroom. Give me some.
Oh, that's not the only problem. Trust me. Like, that low-ass pay Huge problem. Summer break, not having like, having to look for a second job. Nowadays, you have to look for a second job, even when there are classes, even when there is work to do as a teacher. But summer, don't even get me started.
Examples of what the students are saying to you.
Well, a lot of students, and I do want to be clear, I taught a lot of very motivated and bright children. And so I don't want this to come off as if this is all the kids' fault.
It's not.
But I do know that a lot of times in my English classroom, I would ask them to write down a short response or just 5 sentences to answer a question. And a lot of times it would be about 2.5 sentences, and they would say,
I just want to comment. I just want to comment. Holy shit, how much of a difference I don't know if it's a filter or makeup or holy shit, that's a huge difference. The way she looks.
Why do I have to answer in complete sentences? Like, you get the
she's attractive, by the way, the way she looks, but
this little sentence, and then a lot
there's
of
a clear
times I
difference.
would assign essays, long form essays, and I know how children write, especially when they handwrite me things in the beginning of the school year. And so when a student, how I know how they write, typically would give me a very eloquently and thorough essay on a topic that I know that normally wouldn't come from them, I would ask them, was this really you? And I'd run it through an AI generator, and of course it would
even you guys use it
or AI, and I would speak to the student, and they would more so question of, well, if I have to redo this, how much is it really going to affect my grade? Can I just take the 0?
Gosh, trying to take the easy way out.
I was the same.
Is it
I was the same.
Just a laziness among our children?
I suppose, and a lot of them are just feeling as though they don't really need to do the work anymore because I will just do it for them.
I mean, listen, man, they're kids. I used to be a kid. You used to be a kid. You don't want all the fucking boring responsibilities in school. You want to have fun and go out and play with the kids. Or nowadays, just play games on your PC or console or on your tablet. You know, tablet kids is a term, right? But at the same time, we can't blame kids on this. We can only blame the parents on this. But here's a catch. There's a huge catch on this because you can be a great parent. Of course you can. Not allow your kid to be on technology 24/7 and not use ChatGPT for studying. You can allow them to use some stuff, Wikipedia and all of this stuff. But they have to go through that. They have to read it, choose what to put in the presentation. Also, if you just completely block your kid from not ever using social media, which I don't want kids using social media, but you block them to not use TikTok, YouTube, any of this stuff, right? And you just tell them to go out and play with friends. Okay, approved. You know what the problem is? There's no kids outside to play with. And you know what else is the problem? Every other kid is on social media, is on the internet, following all these streamers and trends. And when your kid is going to go to school, they won't find anything relatable to talk about, okay? He's going to watch cartoons. Every kid watches that. I think that's fine. That's normal, right? But that's it. Creators, internet, drama, slop. He's going to be an outcast. In a positive way, but in their kids' life, in their circle, he's going to be the weirdo. It's insane.
I'm a high school teacher. It is 4 weeks into the school year with students, and I am at my limit already. I am at my limit with being talked to and demanded at so disrespectfully, interrupted constantly.
I was,
repeating myself countless times. This year feels worse. This year feels worse than the last 5 years I've taught. I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but I feel like I've seen so many teachers make videos where we are all ringing the alarm saying, this is bad. This year is not good. It's not good. We are struggling, and not a lot of us are going to last if this continues, because I think there's a reckoning of teachers realizing like, I actually don't deserve to be treated like and then every day wipe that slate clean and start on over as if it didn't happen. I teach high schoolers. I see it from videos of elementary school teachers and middle school teachers. I don't know when, as a society, we are going to wake up and say, our system is failing. Our students don't have basic respect or human decency. Teachers are done. Obviously, disclaimer, not all teachers, not all parents, not all students, not all schools.
Of course, of course.
But I'm seeing way too many videos of teachers saying, I can't do this anymore, and we need to be taking that seriously.
So this is going to be an unpopular opinion. You know how you create order, like everything is calm, everything is perfect. People are following the rules, and of course there should be rules, and there is rules in the schools, right? But you know how how do you enforce those rules? Today's sanctions, like, of course they're not really sanctions, but how do you sanction when a kid acts in whatever bad faith, just says outlandish crazy shit, is disrespectful and all of this to the teacher or his classmates? You put heavier sanctions. Now, I don't have a real clear idea of how I can explain this to you, but people can really think of some kind of an idea about this, okay? Some kind of a detention facility. Something where kids will see how they might end up if they continue doing stuff like this. Also, you can fail a year, or you can fail a semester, right? They should make it easier to fail it. Way easier to fail it. It shouldn't be just because of grades. That's obviously not enough, okay? Some kid can have horrible grades, but is very respectful, very diplomatic, knows a lot of people, has a lot of connections within the school, and can grow up being that kind of a person. That kid might have great management or leader qualities, okay? He might not be or she might not be an expert in something, might not be a genius in something, but might actually, do something in life. The kids that have great grades and are very intelligent, but they are just awful POS kinds of people. It's like, you need to make it way easier to fail classes and make it easier for them to end up in summer school. All of them. Summer school can be this kind of what I said of a juvenile something after school facility where these kids go. Somebody in the comments might have a way better idea than I do, but either way, tell me what you guys think. If you disagree, it's fine, but I've seen insane shit, and kids don't just learn just by feeling remorse for their act. That shit does not happen, okay? I was not one of those kids. I grew up, and luckily I saw that the way I was acting was not okay, but a lot of these kids, they end up being something worse. Not all of them, obviously.
Everybody wants to bash on Gen Z, but did you guys know that Gen Alpha can't read? I was talking to one of our church kids, and
yeah, I made a video on this.
Very boldly told me, yeah, I don't know how to read, and neither does anybody in my class. Mind you, this kid is starting 5th grade in August, okay?
Oh,
and I
he's
thought
like
he was playing,
10.
so I told him, kids will do anything for money. So I was like, I'll give you $10 if you could tell me what this bag says. It said chips in giant letters. And I said, you could sound it out, you could try spelling it or whatever to help you read it. Because I thought he was lying. So this dude goes, CHIPS. And I go, what does that say? And he goes, potatoes.
I mean, the source of chips, potatoes, but more chemicals. And he's not wrong. I'm pretty sure he was trolling. I hope he was. Please.
This is one of the most disturbing things I've read in a while. A post on r/teachers has gone viral titled, "It's going to get worse, isn't it?" This person has been teaching for 14 years, and they teach grades 9 through 12 English Language Arts, or ELA. They start out by saying that all grades seem to have in common a one-and-done aesthetic, meaning all students get a chance to improve their grades with revisions, but fewer than 1/3 even try. And then the parents complain when the kid doesn't have an A, even though the kid refused to do revisions, didn't address the prompt, and had tons of spelling.
It's also a lot to do with parents. It has so much to do with parents. A lot of these parents don't really care if the kid actually learns and does and gets something from it. They just want those nice A's, those nice B+. That's all they care about.
errors even though it was a digital assignment. He says the parents just stare stone-faced and say...
Also, all fucking jobs will be taken by the time all of these kids are 18. Come on.
Assigned a one-page essay, and he turned in a one-page essay.
AI
Almost
will ruin
every
it.
kid tells me they don't go to bed until 1 a.m., and more than half show up in their pajamas,
I was
wrapped
the
in
same.
fleece blankets, clutching their Starbucks/Stanley, but leaving everything but their uncharged laptops at home. Is this going to be the new normal? The teacher said the one thing that all the kids have in common is that they don't care. If this is true, is this not the biggest problem we're facing as a culture? Our kids don't care about life? Should we not stop everything we're doing and figure out how to take better care of our kids? This is really the new normal. We need to press pause right now and figure out what's going on because this system is clearly not working.
Well, it's very obvious that there's a two-side system here. One side is the parents, parents actually have to fucking try and block these kids from using AI and technology by itself, okay? When it comes to like teaching, they can use a calculator, that's it, and they can use Wikipedia for research if they want to, that's it, Also, harsher punishments for being disrespectful and rude and even worse, whatever, right? Bullying, yeah, harsher punishments, way easier to fail a grade or to fail a year, way easier to end up in summer school. And summer school should not be just learning. It should be something like, it depends what it is. If it's just because they're not trying to study, that's one thing. If they're a bully, if they're saying rude, insane, disrespectful shit, the teachers, something like a more milder juvenile facility where they should go for a few hours every single day, be taught a lesson. When I say be taught a lesson, like give examples of what happens to people who end up acting this way in real life, and teach them. Maybe send them to a children's camp, but not a children's camp where they just study. No, they wake up, they have to do exercise, they have to socialize, they learn stuff about nature, like normal camping, but more rigid, more rough. Not military service stuff, obviously, but you know what I mean. Let me search this. So as of early 2026, the average teacher salary in the US is roughly $54,000 to $74,000. So it's basically at least median or a little bit above median. The average salary in the US is like 60 something K, which I usually hear that it's much less than this. So maybe this AI overview is lying to me, but at the same time, this is not enough. You're responsible as a teacher for growing up, for teaching at the next generation that has to lead the country, create new laws. And you know what I mean. This is a hard fucking job. You deal with little fucking brats. I think it should be way higher paid. The national average starting salary, 2024-2025, was $46,000. Now that makes more sense. And also, another thing, teachers generally do not get paid extra for summer break. They're typically contracted for 9 to 10 months of work. So, they're not making money throughout the summer. They have to get a second job. Just for 3 months, 4 months, 2 months, whatever. And you need a second job when you already have one job. In general. Anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comments. This is freaking insane. Have a nice day.